Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome to Creating Your Desired Life with your host, the one and only Dr. Esther Graham. And I'm so super excited that you are joining me today. We have another inspiring, enlightening, powerful episode for you today. I have none other but my very dear friend, Dr. Francine Riley, who's coming in today to speak to us about setting our goals and look, resetting, rejuvenating, resetting yourself up for success. And so today we're going to spend some important times just diving into what resonates with you when it comes to struggling to achieving some of your goals, because so many of us, we struggle with achieving our goals, and we never exactly know why we are struggling. We don't really know why. And so in this particular show, we are going to explore how to revisit, how to reset, and how to relaunch your dreams, right? Dr. Francine is going to speak to us and give us some key principles for resetting everything in our lives that will empower us and will bring your dreams to life. I'm so excited. Not only is she a trainer, she could tell you just a little bit more about herself. She's a transformational coach. She is a trained therapist. And listen, she's had many transformative conversations, not just with me, but with others. And so I'm excited to introduce to you an esteemed leader, a visionary, and CEO of Francine Riley Ministries Incorporated. She has dedicated her life to equipping others for success through her powerful ministries. Listen, y'all, Dr. Francine has come to my events and she has spoken, and it has been absolutely powerful. And so not only does she have a profound prophetic insight, but she has a focus on just training leaders and in empowering them, empowering us for greatness. And so please welcome Dr. Francine Riley to the Creating. Come on, y'all. Let's give her some love. Let's give her some love.
It is an honor to be here with you, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you for everyone that will be listening. Listen, I am so excited. I'm so excited to be here with my friend in the Creating Your Designed Life. Let me tell you something. That says enough within itself, because it's so important and it's so timely, because we're at that part of the year again.
Yeah.
Where
Again.
we can reflect on, okay, what have I done? Because life keeps lifing, people keep peopling, and guess what? Whether you do or don't, time's going to pass by. And so I know I've been in a place of reflecting on whether I've done what I set out to do at the beginning of the year. Because what do we do at the beginning of the year? We set goals, we set New Year's resolutions. And so this is so timely. And so thank you for having me on during this time.
Yeah.
I actually have a book coming out. It's called Ready, Set, Goals.
Oh,
And
nice.
one of the things about this is I have been setting goals, planning goals,
Yeah.
but sometimes pushing that play button,
Yeah.
getting in action has been the thing. And we all do. We all get excited during the time of, setting the goals, we're planning, okay, this is what I want to accomplish in the next year, because we're about to do it again,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And then we get excited. We start out, whether it's weight loss. I mean, the gym is packed the first 2 weeks of January.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm one of them.
I was going to say, listen, I don't do the gym anymore because I've wasted too many memberships, but I sure say, okay, I'm starting to exercise at home, right? And
Right.
then you just stop.
Exactly. And you stop. And so I always like to do a check. Where am I at? Because sometimes things do fizzle out. And guess what? Even as we're setting goals, what we do on a daily does not stop. So we have to figure out, how do we make room and find the time and energy to be intentional about accomplishing our goals. Setting the goals is easy. Achieving them is another story. During the mid-year, as we were coming up into the mid-year, I said, you know what? Let me look at this. And if I'm feeling this way, somebody else is feeling this way as well. And so I came up with revisit, reset, and relaunch. Let's see where we are.
Yeah.
Let's see
Yeah.
where we are. What have I accomplished? Let me revisit all the goals that I put in place at the beginning, at the top of the year. How did I do? So
Yeah.
I'm revisiting. How did I do with those goals? Okay, now maybe those was some of them was a little bit too much. Somewhere along the line, some of them as the year came on, first 6 months, things changed. So I need to see, hey, what's relevant now? Does this goal align with what I want to really accomplish? So I had to reset some things, and when I say reset, I had to unchoose some of those things.
I like that. You had to unchoose some of those things
Yeah,
because we've got, so much that we set and we, boom, boom, boom. It's like, wait a minute. You had to unchoose. Continue. This is
yeah,
good. So good.
right. And so I had to unchoose some what is not no longer in alignment. It was great at the beginning of the year, but is it in alignment with what I want to accomplish for this year? I do something called a brain dump. I get all my ideas, all my dreams, everything out of my head at the top of the year. And then I set goals according to them. So I realized some of these things, Dr. Esther, I couldn't accomplish in 1 year. So yeah, I can reset, put them. Here's the thing: I had to unchoose some things, and then I had to re-choose some things. And in re-choosing some things, okay, what can be accomplished this
Yeah.
year, and what could not be accomplished this year, but it's still a goal that I can work towards.
So, when you look at uh, re-choosing and unchoosing, and as you reset, you revisit, how do you decide? I know part of the things that you said is that you look to see what is still in alignment with you. So that's number one, first and foremost. Is there anything else that you look at as I'm looking at, this, I'm going to keep this or re-choose this, or no, I'm going to relinquish this?
Exactly. Great question. I will give you an example. So I had a dream vacation, 8 weeks. Okay. Could I take eight? Now I'm going to do this dream vacation. It's a European tour, but could I put it in the schedule for this year? Or do I need to move it back some? I re-chose it, but I moved it back a couple of years so that I could save and do some other things. And then I decided, okay, I may not can do the European 8 week vacation this year, but what vacation can I do this year? And so I decided to take some daycations in my city.
Nice.
Yeah, I decided to do some staycations,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then 3 times in a year do an actual vacation somewhere else. But do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
re-choosing, but putting that somewhere else. And then what can I do that's in alignment? Because I deal with the 5 F's when I look at goals.
What are the five F's?
They are family,
Yeah,
fitness, finances, fun, and faith.
yeah.
And I base goals according to those things.
Yeah. I love how, because sometimes we think when we haven't reached those goals that we now have to just forget about it. I'm just, I didn't reach it this year, so it's not going to happen. I just keep repeating it. And I think that because, sometimes we put the same goals on every year. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Every year I'm going to lose, oh no, I'm going to lose it. And then it just never happens and it goes on. Then after a while, you say, what, I've had this on my goal chart, my vision all these years, and it's just not going to happen. I love that you said re-choose,
Yes,
because just because it hasn't been accomplished as yet does not mean that you get rid of it. You just have to look at, first of all, re-choose it and seeing what parts you're going to re-choose and maybe narrow it down. So maybe it's like, let me just try for 5 pounds,
exactly.
or let
Exactly.
me do a staycation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then let me plan to go out of town, but here. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I think many times we just release and let it go. But if it's still in alignment with what you want and what you value, right? And
Exactly.
if it's still within the 5 F's,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why don't you just re-choose it, reevaluate it, revisit it, and then just maybe do a small amount. I love that. In other words, then I don't have to let it all go and feel like, oh, I failed at doing this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
yeah,
I also look at within that, why did I not accomplish it? Why did I
yeah.
not lose that 75 pounds this year? Was it too much of a goal? Right? Now, if it was that I wasn't consistent or, and then here's another key. Mindset is everything. We're
Yeah.
looking at the goal, but we have to look at who we're becoming as we
Mm.
embark upon this.
Oh, I love that. We look at the goal and we look at who we are becoming. That's powerful. Ah,
And can I give you an example of that?
yeah, please, please.
So I had a thing of within my weight release of I'm going to run a 5K.
Yeah. Bless
Okay.
your heart.
So the 5K, watch this, was the goal.
Yeah, yeah.
But for a couple of years, I was focused on the outcome, which was
Mm.
crossing the finish line, not who I was becoming, which was a runner.
Oh, I love it. I
Right.
love
So
it.
if my mindset was I'm becoming a runner, then I'm going to cross the finish line. But my mindset had to change into the fact of, because I've never ran.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I put on this, I'm going to run a 5K. I've never run.
Hold on, hold on. When you made that decision, did you go out and buy a cute little running outfit
You
too
know,
with some
I
tennis shoes?
did.
I know you did, because
You
that's
know,
what I would do.
I did all of that stuff, but then I didn't have a mind.
Yeah,
I didn't think about uh, forming the mindset of a
yeah,
runner.
yes.
And here it is.
That's so
I,
good.
I barely walked. So I had to begin to train my mind into
Yeah,
becoming a runner,
yeah, yeah.
and so that worked better. So this year I actually ran my first 5K.
Oh,
But
congratulations.
this has been a
Yay.
goal for the last 7 years. I just got it 2 years ago. Hey, the mindset is everything.
So I want everyone to hear what's really being said. I love it. So you've had this goal for 7 years. And in 7 years, you really didn't accomplish it. But what you discovered, it was your mindset. So you made some shifts,
Hmm.
right? You
Hmm.
made some shifts. And then you were looking at the outcome instead of what you were becoming, because you were never a runner. You were you barely walked, and
Exactly.
you had to become
Exactly.
the runner.
Exactly.
So powerful. There's so many things in our lives that we've said it and we're not there yet, but we have to become that. We have to begin to walk into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and this is the profound thing that came to me. We've been so busy collecting goals
Yeah.
instead of developing the mindset to achieve them.
Mm.
That's the first thing, developing the mindset. And so as I went along and I reset some goals, I chunked it down. I did all the SMART goal thing and I chunked it down. Okay, focus on 8 pounds a month, six to
Yeah.
8 pounds a month. Don't focus on the big 75. And you know where I got this from? I actually purchased a car, and they have the amount that is going, the total
Yeah.
amount that it's going to
Yeah.
cost. But when you get to talking to the finance person, they never bring that amount up again. They always tell you what your monthly payment is going to be. Why? Because our minds can digest that better than that bigger number.
Then the big amount, the mindset can
Exactly.
digest that monthly.
Exactly.
Yes. So
And so I
true.
set that goal. I said anywhere between 4 to 8 pounds. 4 was my minimum, 8 was my max, 6 is a good median. And so knowing that I'm disciplining myself, that was better. I was able to better digest that
Yeah.
mind wise, psychologically wise, than looking at this big number. And then at the end of the day, I did this last year. At the end of the day, even if I didn't hit the 75-pound mark, I looked at where I had come from.
Hmm.
I was much further, and being more consistent with my and discipline with eating and going to the gym and things of that nature. And I have a whole gym here too at my house, but at the end of the day, everything else calls my name at the house. If I'm at Planet Fitness or LA Fitness, whatever's at the house has to wait. So
Yeah.
that's the mindset that I had to come into,
Yeah.
you
That
know.
That's so powerful because the mindset shift is powerful. What happens, I like to call it that we are creating new neural pathways,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's
And
good.
so, and a pathway is, it doesn't get created just by doing it one time,
Absolutely.
right? A pathway gets created if it's over and over and over again. I always like to use the analogy of where I live at the back, where I live is, very rural. And so we've got the teenagers, especially during the pandemic, that would walk in the back in between of all the trees, right? And they were
Mm-hmm.
going to the lake. Well, there was not a pathway there first.
Mm.
Then because they did it every day,
Wow.
now there's a pathway there. Why? Because they kept walking the same place. And so the grass, they created a pathway,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where now you don't have to think which way to walk to get to this lake. You just go on the pathway that was already that they created. And so that's exactly what we're speaking of here is creating those pathways to where now I'm releasing the weight. I'm doing this. I'm becoming this person because I've created new neural pathways.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
like that. That's really
And
good.
yeah,
Right.
it's
Because
powerful.
we look at, running the 5K, losing the 75 pounds. That's one single event. But the other thing, when we got a mindset about it, it's a transformation of our identity, who we have become.
Yeah.
And so,
And it comes from the inside out, right? It happens on the inside and then
yeah,
it becomes very evident
yes,
on the
yes, yes.
outside,
I love
right?
it. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so now I've revisited and I've reset. And the reset is the choosing and the unchoosing and the rechoosing. And now let's relaunch. Let's put some deadlines to this thing again. Now that we've rechosen what we're going to stick with and put some deadlines because any goal without a deadline is a wish.
Yeah.
And then I began to build milestones within
Yeah.
it, right? Not waiting until I got to the 75, but if I hit that milestone of, okay, my first 25, and what I'm going to do to celebrate. Now I'm celebrating on the way. Now I had to change my celebration from eating wrong because that defeats my purpose, total sabotage. But I would do just little things because
Yeah.
what gets repeated gets rewarded, and what
Yes.
gets rewarded gets repeated, right?
Yes.
And so when I tell my brain, I remember one week, as the I was on my 2.5 per week, but I hit a plateau, and so it was only like 12 ounces.
Yeah.
And at first, like, what? 12 ounces. And did forget that I'd been doing some weights. And so the scale's going to look, muscle is heavier. And so I said to myself, you know what? Let me celebrate those 12 ounces because those 12 ounces may not be, the full thing, but the 12 ounces says I did release some weight. And even if it was zero, at least I didn't gain anything. And so just relaunching and telling yourself, this is what we're going to do, and putting those goals somewhere up in front of you that you can see every day so that your mind is reminded of what you said you're going to do and accomplishing those things. And then breaking them down step by step as
Yeah.
necessary,
Yeah. I love that because what I hear you saying is that as you're relaunching, you put a timeline
Hmm.
and then you gave yourself milestones. And
Absolutely.
so that's like, let's 10 pounds or whatever a month. And then the other piece is that you put it in front of you so
Yes,
you can see it. So visually now I see it. I begin to speak it. When I speak it, then I begin to believe it. And then
absolutely.
again, this is another way of how I'm creating the pathways to have
Love
that
it.
mindset shift
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have it.
to relaunch exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, I have people to hold me accountable
Yeah.
to what I said I'm going to do.
Hmm.
People that hold me accountable are reminding me of what I said I wanted, what
Yeah.
I said I wanted to do, what I said I needed, and who I said I am becoming. And so they hold me accountable. Don't let me eat that donut. Don't let me eat those check in on me. Send me emojis of somebody running on the treadmill. That's a reminder,
That's a
And so
reminder.
I'm so appreciative of
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah. And accountability, I think that's a piece many times we miss. Because, we just think that we could do everything ourselves. We could just, we could handle it. We could do it. We could do it. And then that we find out that we do need to have someone to hold us accountable.
Mhm.
And even I believe it's research shows that when you have someone that's holding you accountable, you are 90% more will accomplish your goal as opposed to when you don't. So
Absolutely.
accountability is important. The last thing
Absolutely.
that you said is that even in the small, I believe it, I think you said in the small milestone or wherever you are, that you celebrate
Yes.
because whatever is celebrated is repeated. And I want
Yep.
to add a little bit to what you said about, the celebration. And I want to ask you about so much the importance of it. But research also shows that celebration should be a part of who we are. It really should be in our DNA.
Yes.
Research shows that when we celebrate even our small wins, we celebrate ourselves every day. It just becomes a part of us. Then we are much more successful,
Yes.
happier.
Yes.
We're more joyful,
Yes. Yes.
right? Because
Absolutely.
it just becomes a part of who we are. So
Absolutely.
celebration is really a big piece of
Absolutely.
everything that we're doing in this life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Has to be celebrated. I have a puppy and, training her. And I give her a little treat every time I say, good girl. And now she looks back like, you got that treat ready? Okay, because I'm going to do what you said. And so, it works with animals, it works with us as well.
It
We
does. It
celebrate ourselves.
does.
And so
Yeah.
every day I wake up, well, during the evening, during my evening review, I ask myself, what did I do well today? What do I want to celebrate myself for? You
Yeah.
know, okay, what did I not what did I not quite hit it? Let me look at feedback on my own self,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then okay, what needs to be tweaked? And sometime I realize, Esther, because this is the last part of the revisit, the reset, relaunch, especially in the relaunch piece, is even after the milestones, let me set those steps. What's on my to-do list?
Yeah.
So I celebrate by looking at my to-done list. I said to-done. That's my to-done
I
list.
love it. I love it. Ta-da. Yay.
And
Yeah.
then I look, okay, what didn't get accomplished? And I actually check mark everything that got accomplished because that tells your brain, hey, you did something. And then I look, okay, what's left on the list? Why didn't that get accomplished? What did I let seep in that moved me away from accomplishing that particular step? Because it also led me further away from the goal, accomplishing the goal. And then what do I need to tweak? Do I need to cut more time out from other things and focus it here? Did I not set good time blocks to accomplish? So I look at those things that need to be tweaked, and then I look at you already know this next word. What could I have delegated?
Ah, yes.
You know, and then let's rinse and repeat. Let's do this all over again.
Yeah.
So I think those are the things that are really important.
So I think that for our viewers, and maybe they're now, we're in the last quarter, Q4. And this isn't just for business, for people, for CEOs or entrepreneurs. This is for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
This is for every woman, and I'm going to say every man, every human being. It
Mhm.
is. And so, but if this is your first time actually looking and saying, you know what, this is the mode I've been in for the past few years, and I just need to start somewhere as I'm looking at Q4 in my business life, my entrepreneurship, in my personal life, my faith, my family. I have the 7 principles of my
Mhm.
life by design that also has very similarity to that. Of course, my spirituality, my faith is, very
Mhm.
important. My finances, my celebration, that's a part of my pillars, my
Yeah.
celebration, all of those things. But if I've never really did any of this before, Dr. Fran, what would be the simplest way for me to start right now as I revisit, I reset, and I relaunch? I've never did this before. I've tried all, I've set goals. What now? Come on. Give me something real quick that I can say, when I get off of this is what I'm going to do. At the end of this show, this is how I'm going to start. As I'm moving into 2025, I'm going to look at these things right now, make some changes now. So when I step into 25, I'm like, ta-da, ta-da, boom, boom.
There
Because
you
the
go.
goal is to step into 2025. But some of these things like, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so I would definitely say look at what is important to you. What's important to you? not everybody else in the world, not comparing yourself to anybody else or comparing yourself to where anybody else is in life. Okay. And so this is your day one, your day one. Where am I? What is important to me? What's important to me right now? Because even with the 5 F's that I have, you may not can do all of them in 1 year. So where can I start? What is the pressing thing to me right now?
Yeah.
And just start there. So if it's, I remember 1 year being in a Q4 and had not saved anything. I was just starting. Okay, so I want to save some money. Now, let me tell you something. It wasn't just like I had money sitting around. So, like every dollar was spoken for, right? But I looked at, okay, what outside of my expenses that I know have to be paid, where am I spending money at? What could I save? And you know what I chose? Hey, I may not have to get gel polish, you know, that it's getting colder. So who's looking at my toes anyway? Now I'm gonna keep that pedicure, okay? But they don't have to be gelled. I can
Yeah.
just do it clear myself, you know. So what could I do for myself? I said, hey, I knew what my schedule was at the particular time. So instead of me getting my hair done every week, let it be every 2 weeks. On that off week, I do it myself.
Yeah.
That just saved me. This is way back when, but
Yeah.
saved me $45.
Yeah.
Actually $90, $45 every trip. And now, y'all know that was way back when because prices are way different. And so I used that money and started saving,
Yeah.
and okay. And I knew the holidays were coming up. I knew all that. Thanksgiving and Christmas and this, that, and I actually had a conversation with my family and my friends and say, hey, gifts aren't going to be what they're normally. And I said, how could I, still let them know I love them, thinking about them, but it may not cost as much because I had a goal. And I'll never forget that particular goal for Q4 was $1,000. I want you to know I was able to do 1,300.
See, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it because you're speaking about these are small micro goals. They're micro. And so as you're looking at the revisit, I love it. The reset and the relaunch. Boom, I revisit everything. And then I look at what is it I need to reset? What am I still in alignment with? And resetting, it could be releasing or it could be uh, uh, bringing this back in or partially saying, okay, I need to cut this down, making it into fractions instead of this whole, let me bite a small piece of the apple. And then what I decided from the revisit, then the reset, and then I'm going to relaunch what I just decided to reset.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
good. So
Absolutely.
good.
And what it does, Dr. Esther, is it begins to build a muscle in you.
Yeah.
So if I did this for 90 days in the
Yeah.
last quarter, then I have a muscle now. I can move
Yeah.
from a 2 pound weight up to a 5 pound weight for the next year, at least for Q1, And so it's just a continuance of building a muscle on the inside of us.
Yeah. Oh, the muscle on it. It's so important. I love, this is a powerful, I think, a powerful conversation. Because as we are going through this, listen, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like if it's like this, it's like, oh my God, wasn't October 1st yesterday?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, the holidays are coming up and when the holidays, y'all, when the holidays are coming, boom, it's just a done deal.
Absolutely.
Right. And so, we really have to begin to look at where we are right now. So I like to say one of the things I want to do is step into 2025. I don't want to be stressed out about it. I don't even want to be stressed out going through Q4.
Right.
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 And so whatever it is that I did not accomplish in this time, let me see. I can push it off, but let me see where. So I love the revisit, the reset, and the relaunch. And how about this now? How do I now remain motivated to keep moving forward? What would
And
what would your suggestion be?
the way to stay motivated is not just have people you're accountable to, but actually having support too. But self-motivating, looking at those things. I speak affirmations over myself.
Yeah.
I may not feel like it, but it's not about a feeling. Whatever I hear long enough, I start believing it, right? Creating those neural pathways, and my cells are eavesdropping anyway. And so it says, oh, this is what she say we can do. We can do it. And so I begin to self-motivate. I keep it always in front of me, right? Whatever that is. And I learn to enjoy the journey of who I'm becoming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even on days or weeks that I don't accomplish it, I don't feel, I make sure that I never allow myself to feel like a failure. It didn't fail. That's just me collecting data. That's all. It's collect.
Yeah.
I'm getting feedback. It's not a
You didn't
failure.
do-
It's
Yeah.
feedback. You
Yeah.
know, I'm
Yeah.
collecting the data on what worked, what didn't work, what needs to be tweaked,
Yeah.
and let's
Yeah.
keep moving.
Yeah. I love how you said that you speak affirmations, over yourself. You speak these things over yourself. That's so important. So, one of my I have a lot of favorite scriptures, a lot of things that a scripture that just really just govern my life. And one is that where it says, I believe, so therefore I speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so what happens is we many times speak what we believe.
Absolutely.
So one of the ways, if you're not sure what you believe, or you want to make sure that you really believe that you're going to get to your weight release goal, is that you begin to speak.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I like to say, and you may say, well, I don't believe that right now. Well, just keep speaking. And then when you speak what you want to believe, right?
Absolutely.
You will begin to believe it. So I speak, and so I believe, you know?
Absolutely.
And so I
Absolutely.
use that to where anytime I feel like, it's like, no, no, let me speak this, that, that I am powerful. I'm grateful. I am losing, or I'm releasing
Mm-hmm.
my pounds, or I'm releasing this. And I just keep speaking these things over and over again in my life, which is so powerful. So that's really important. As we close, what is the last thing that you would like to share? And Dr. Fran, please let everyone know, how can we connect with you?
Thank you so much for that opportunity. You can connect with me on social media, on all social media handles. I am Dr. Fran Speaks. And so you can connect with me there. We're building out some great things, organizations that I have really are relaunching, actually.
Good.
Relaunching. One of my nonprofits is Sisterbration,
Yeah.
and it's where sisters. C stands for Celebrate, Educate, and Empower. I also am launching the Speak Hers Academy, where we teach you to find your voice, discover your voice, heal from your past, and monetize your message. And so look out for these things coming up. And what you're saying, Dr. Esther, is I have a thing. One of my things is I wish above all things that you would prosper and
Mm.
be in health, even as your soul prospers. And so my mantra is I am healthy, wealthy, whole, and wise. And that's why I speak over myself. I speak to myself. My
Yeah.
body gets into alignment. My
Yeah.
brain gets into alignment with it. And guess what? It actually has manifested. I'm a mature woman, and I had my all my physical and all that stuff, and they're like, "Wow, there
Yeah.
is absolutely
Yeah.
nothing wrong with you." And that's because I believe now I do practice the disciplines to make sure that it goes
You
along with
have
that.
to, have
Yeah,
to. Yeah.
but I make sure, hey, I speak this over my life, and I believe I can do all things. I
Yeah.
believe that I
Yeah.
can do all things. So,
Yeah.
in
And once
closing,
you have that, then you can. I
yeah,
like, you can
absolutely,
walk on water. You can walk on
absolutely,
water. Yeah.
absolutely. And so, in closing, begin to build that muscle. Ask yourself, what are my values? Making sure that I'm in alignment with what my values are.
Yeah.
First of all. So, what are my values? What are the things that are important to me?
Yeah.
What are the standards that I have? And then begin to build around those with those goals. And you don't have to start out with a lot, because once you accomplish one, then your body and your brain says, "Hey, we can go another round. Let's go another round, and maybe add one more to it, and just begin that way. Stay
Yeah.
in harmony with yourself."
Yeah. 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 I love it. Stay in harmony with yourself. In harmony, everyone. Not in balance, but in harmony with yourself, where
Absolutely.
everything kind of comes together and it just flows beautiful, like a symphony, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Dr.
yes.
Fran, thank you so much for coming on, for taking that time. I know that your schedule is really busy. And so I just appreciate you, coming on and sharing your knowledge and giving us insights to how we can begin to make some shifts as we go into 2025. I think it's such perfect timing because I think this is the time that we do have to revisit, look at resetting and then making a decision on what is it that we want to relaunch. And as they say, there is no time, like the present.
Yes.
There is no
Yes.
time. And so everyone, thank you. Let's show Dr. Fran some love.
Thank you
And
so much.
thank you so much for being here. We're going to go into a little bit of mindfulness to where, guys, I want you to begin to think about what Dr. Fran has shared. Grab your journal and begin to write, what is it right now? Think this, what is it that you need to reset and revisit and relaunch? So let's go into just a little bit of mindfulness and let's go ahead and reset, revisit, and relaunch. What is it that you need to do? Just write a couple of it down. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you took that time and you took a deep breath and you began to just write down what are some of the goals that you have set in 2024. Go back and revisit. Where are you with that? And then look at what you need to reset. And then what is it that you need to relaunch? And remember, give yourself grace and ease. Create new neural pathways and do micro goals, right? Just small. And always remember that wherever you are, celebrate yourself because anything that's celebrated is always repeated, always repeated. So let's talk about the quote of the week. The quote of the week is, hold on one second. We'll make sure we get it. The quote of the week is, I can't read, y'all. I can't read. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm having problems getting to this quote. So here it is. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And this is Winston Churchill. So sorry about the snafu, but let me read it again. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. So no matter where you are on your journey right now, make sure that you know that failure, nothing is final. Pick it up and continue to move forward. I am just so honored that you made the decision to join me today. Make sure that you connect. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you're listening on Facebook. Invite a friend on LinkedIn. Go ahead and connect. Go to E360 TV. I have Today TV network to ensure that watch the show on Mondays, every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait to see you there. Listen, we're still taking questions. If you have a question that you would like to ask me, make sure that you send the questions in. You can email it to creatingyourdesiredlife.com to send your email questions. I can't wait to see you. God bless you. Take care. See you next time. Bye.